Hi, Angela.
Quiet on the set.
I think I keep screwing up the opening. I got it. I need a production manager.
You need your production managed?
I got to get my production managed,
I think you do a really good job
or
of
it's just
managing your
or
production.
it's just gonna like spin out. Hello?
Hi. Why do you need a production manager?
No, I kid. I don't. You know what I need? I need an entire
Money.
staff.
Yeah.
Imagine if we could actually produce a show. Like if I could produce a show with like guests and oh my god, bring writers on, researchers, spend some money,
Mm-hmm.
put a group of talented people together.
Segments.
Yeah,
Skits.
with segments and a live band.
Can you imagine?
Delicate's here. Hi, Delicate.
I would insist it was a mariachi band. That's what I would do.
A mariachi. I would love that. That would be the fucking greatest thing ever. But would it be inappropriate? Like, would it be like, what do they call that? Cultural appropriate. What do you call that?
Cultural appropriation?
Yeah, would it be that?
No.
Okay.
Everybody gets to enjoy everybody's music.
I love a mariachi band all day long.
I've lived in several neighborhoods in Los Angeles where all my neighbors would fucking blast that shit. There's this kind of I think reggaeton is what it's called. I don't know, whatever. It sounds like fucking polka music. There's an accordion and a tuba.
I would love that.
It's
Like
it's
a
not
fucking
so great like
a
late at
rooster
night.
in the background.
Yeah, with a rooster, right? There's always a rooster somewhere.
Gotta have a rooster somewhere around there. I had a couple of friends who moved into Highland Park just at the beginning of the gentrification of Highland Park.
Which is such a shame because that neighborhood used to be so fucking
It was
great.
amazing. So like I was going there when it was, still very not white.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like all the corner stores were still, the local, proprietors and all that other stuff. It was fucking awesome. And then all of a sudden, like, the cafes with the fucking.
No, it's fucking gelato and vegan restaurants and
Yeah, yeah.
nobody needs all that.
No. But I loved it. And why I brought it up is just because sometimes I would stay there. Like sometimes I'd go over there to this guy's house and we would drink beer and play darts like all night until like 1 a.m. And I'd be like half bagged and I'd be like, dude, I'm just going to fucking crash here and not drive. He's like, yeah. Every morning woken up like, it's just like all over the neighborhood, just roosters. What do they do? What is that? Roosting? What do they do? No.
They cock-a-doodle-doo.
They doodle. Yeah, they cock-a-doodle. All that kind of stuff.
That shit gets old, though. Getting woken up by fucking roosters.
Yeah, I thought so.
Before you're supposed
I thought
to.
it might. I was like, I don't know. This is kind of fun right now. But you know what was also fun? Were the street vendors, man.
Oh, yeah.
The corn on the cob with the Parmesan cheese.
Elote.
Oh, my God. Oh, my. When I heard that guy coming, it's Pavlov, dude. I'm fucking flowing out the mouth, saliva. I'm like, where's my dollar? Like, just absolutely amazing. And it's like, yeah, it was like $1 or $2 or something.
Oh, yeah, I know. What I miss the most is like the $2 bags of fresh chopped mixed fruit.
Oh, it's the best.
Like that's something that I
Like on a
I
hot
crave.
day, you're walking around LA and then like you see one of those guys, you're like, oh.
Yeah, a bag of fresh cut mixed fruit and a fork, and then you're set.
With some lime.
I never used to get they'd put lime and chili on it.
Oh, I
never
loved
used to
it
get
with
that.
lime and chili. Oh, fuck yes. Absolutely the best. Oh, you're bringing me back home. Nothing
go
like
back.
it. Why would you ever want to get rid of that? All right, what's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Did you guys have a good weekend? I hope you did. I know we were here Saturday.
Dale's
We
game.
popped in.
Dale's team won. That was
Yeah,
good
they
news.
won another ugly one. The thing about the Philadelphia Eagles is that people are like, oh, fuck that offense and whatever. Their defense is really just kind of one of the most special defenses I think I've ever seen. And they're winning. They're beating all the best teams. Like we have, by we, I mean my team, the Philadelphia Eagles, and me, have the toughest schedule in all of football. Toughest remaining schedules, toughest opening schedule. So we're doing good. We're doing great.
Yeah.
I think,
You keep
good
winning.
chance we're going back to the Super Bowl. But you got to keep winning. So, all it takes is one loss to make those words damned to hell. All right.
What are we talking about first here?
First, let's just get this whole Epstein shenanigans out of the way. Let me tell you what I did.
Shenanigans is a really, really creative way to to describe it.
Let me tell you what I did that I've never done in my entire life.
Huh.
I watched like an 8, maybe 10-minute Marjorie Taylor Greene interview.
Yeah, I know.
And I was riveted from the start.
Okay.
Like,
That's weird.
it's-
Why would you do that?
Well, because she's clearly parting ways. So it was the video was her responding to Donald Trump calling her a traitor.
A traitor?
He called her a traitor. He called her
Well,
Marjorie
that's a stone
Traitor.
from the fucking glass
Greene.
house, ain't it?
Quite amazing.
I don't
But-
know if there's like a confidential service member location and undercover names documents found in her house. Oh wait, that was him.
Exactly. Well, anyway, so I watched this interview, and I got to tell you, man, it was like living in the Twilight Zone. She is talking about becoming a bipartisan, moderate conservative. Like, I'm telling you, dude, I don't know what happened.
To her?
I don't know what happened. I think the Epstein files fucked Donald Trump up because
No, I know, but that's super weird. She was talking about Jewish space lasers. Just
well, actually, I know what it was
ago.
because she said it in the interview. She said, "I know." And then, come on, her 2022 campaign with the M16 and everything.
Oh my God.
She said that it was Charlie Kirk. She said it was Charlie Kirk. Yeah.
Oh.
She said, and she's like, She said, look, we have more in common with Democrats than we do with any other people in the world.
She said what?
Yes. She's like, we have more in common with each other than we do with these outside forces and these other outside people. So
I'm sorry. Marjorie Taylor Greene is experiencing solidarity.
it's so weird, dude. Listen to this. She said that she recognizes that she was participating in like poisonous, horrible talk that divided the country, and she apologized for it in the interview. She apologized.
Well, I love this for her. I hope she's okay. That seems like a lot to go through.
Yeah, like she must lay in bed and just have to grip the sheets every night before she goes to bed, like letting go of like a lot of shit. Look, she wants the Epstein files out, and you know why? Because her constituents want them out. You know why? Because her constituents were probably, if not are, that whole, what do they call it? QAnon.
Yeah.
And by the way, I knew this. Like, this is like we're in the hotbed of that shit.
No, we like
I
to
was
go
playing
camping
darts.
Dale and I like to go camping in North Georgia, so it's kind of like the belly of the beast of these people. Like,
Dude, I was playing darts in a league, and one of the guys that I was playing with was like, "I'm losing my mother," and I was like, "What are you talking about?" I didn't even really know about QAnon at this point. He's like, "Yeah, man, I'm losing my mother," and he proceeds to tell me about her mental decline by watching all these videos. I don't even know what happened to him because COVID came and the darts ended, and then I never saw him again.
Oh, he was talking about how she was getting radicalized.
She was getting radicalized by QAnon. By QAnon specifically, he mentioned QAnon.
That's fucking sad.
So, let me tell you, crazy. So here we have Marjorie Taylor Greene, and she's separated with Donald Trump completely. She's scolding him in a really dignified way, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, it was amazing. She was like, she said, she was asked about her response to him calling her a traitor. And she said, well, that is really offensive language, but it's also really dangerous. That could threaten my life. People follow this president very closely, and they love him, and to be a traitor to him might be something somebody
That is an unbelievably reasonable response.
Yeah.
I'm
telling you, this is a fucking, when you watch the movie, fucking Scrooged, what is it called? No, when you watch the movie, well, you can watch that too, but what's A Christmas Carol? When you watch A Christmas Carol.
She got visited by 3 ghosts?
Oh my God. It is she is throwing money out the window. She is like absolutely thrown out. She's talked about the millions of dollars that she invested in getting Donald Trump elected.
Oh, yeah,
and
I know.
Like it was wild, bro. It was just it was one of the most surreal things I have experienced in a very, very long time. I'm not even kidding you. It has not left me since I watched it. I cannot believe it. And by the way, this came out right after. So he parted ways with her, but he's ripping at the heart of his support. Like that's putting it right in the heart of it, man. That this woman, short of getting a tattoo, right, did everything else she could to get that man elected and adored by her constituents and beyond. She made an ass out of herself, which wasn't difficult, it seemed. But she did all of these things And then because she wants the Epstein file out, and now we remember this because we talked about this. He called her into the office, into the White House. He called her and Boebert.
Yeah.
And it was all about, don't you go voting for the Epstein files to get released? And she was like, fuck you, I'm doing that. And that's what turned him against her, calling her a traitor. So it's just like, it's just this extraordinary rift. It's an extraordinary rift, but he now reversed. So Donald Trump reverses and he says, okay, let the Epstein file go. I read it. I didn't see the actual interview. So I read his comments. Hilarious, dude. So he went on to say, after saying, yeah, release them. Absolutely. I'm telling Congress right now, please vote for it. Okay. I'll sign it. I'll sign the bill as soon as it gets to my desk.
Well, what the fuck was all this for?
Here's what he said. But then he said, and then he said, but I just want you guys to not talk about it. I don't want anybody to talk about it. He said, okay, maybe we'll just show it to the senators, but I don't think we need to be talking about it because it's distracting from all the beautiful work that we're doing and that the Republican Party is doing. And also that it was a sham. It was the Democrats who shut down the government. And then he said, and the Epstein thing is a Democrat hoax, is what he said after, saying, release it. He's fucked and he knows it. I just truly believe that this guy knows he's completely fucked. He lost the people that he believed would elect him even after shooting and killing somebody on the corner of 5th and whatever it was that he said in New York. Busy corner in New York. Remember that?
I do remember when he said that.
So it's just absolutely flooring to me, but it's also wonderful because the only thing that saves America, in my opinion, is the people moving out of their respective radicalized places and into a conversation.
Oh yeah, we can absolutely find common ground about really severe crimes like this. Like, come on.
Exactly. Listen,
this is not beyond our
capability. I was making the movie Small Group, right? I'm with the director, right? He is a staunch evangelical conservative.
This is kind of a harsh story you're about to tell, by the way.
Are, yeah. I'm gonna edit it I'm gonna edit this story. We get into a screaming match about this because this is the first election of Donald Trump, right? I had listened already by then to about an hour's worth of excerpts from a deposition from a woman who claims to have been abused by Donald Trump at the age of 13. And I listened to it. There, you can go it's out there on the internet. It's all over. If you want to go through it, it's out there and it is horrible. And it's also extremely believable.
So you brought this up and you were having
I brought this up and I was and so I started screaming at him, can we agree not to victimize the children? Like I was screaming this. I was being much more harsher with my language.
Yeah.
Picture, if you read the book, me and Phillips, Bijou Phillips. Like I was mad. Mm-hmm. Because I was like, you're ruining the country. You're ruining the country for this evangelical thing.
But did he agree?
He said yes, he agreed, but they turned their head for years, because this was 2016. This was his first election.
I know there's like this weird, like obstinate, like desire to like just plant their feet and just oppose us about everything. And I guess I think the same way about the other side too. But it's like, dude, we really do have to like acknowledge that we agree about these very fundamental, very easy concepts, you know?
You remember when he threw himself a parade for his birthday? Mm-hmm. The squeaky tank?
With the squeaky tank, yeah.
The squeaky tank parade?
Well, those things aren't meant to be stealth mode, It's like when they're rolling in, like, It's
just a perfect soundtrack for the occasion
as well. Like be secret and roll a tank in.
Yeah, it's only squeaky because there's no bands. It's only squeaky because there's nobody there with murmur and crowd, because it was him watching tanks go by because he thinks he's an emperor, right? So you remember the emperor's parade that he tried to put on for his birthday, yes. Right? I think that I think he believed this in his second term. I think he thought he could take over the government. And there were some things that happened. Take over the country, I should say. Not the government. Take over the country. Mm-hmm. And then there were some really significant things that happened. One of the more significant things that happened that was really under the radar, but that I caught more than once, was Speaker Johnson, on more than one occasion, confirming he cannot run in 28. Now, I also saw, and if you haven't seen this is fucking reality, there was this one shot of him in the White House. It was like a merch shop for Trump 28.
Yes, I remember. The thing about Speaker Johnson though is like he lies constantly. Like if you know if he happens to be remarking about something that you actually do know about, like you know what the situation is and all the players involved, you can see how expertly he lies, and he's like really patronizing about it. He's very believable, but you know that he's lying, and so I don't really believe anything that he says.
Well,
So if he
his
says that
words,
he's against that, I just don't buy it.
it's not
because
about it's not about him
coming
being
from
against it. He said his words were similar to, "I can see no pathway within our Constitution
Yeah, well, see, there you
that
go.
would allow him to run for president." Well, listen,
That's the
Angela.
rub.
I mean, I guess we could play the game that he's gonna allow it. He doesn't have the power to allow it, and that's the fucking point that he's making as Speaker of the House. Nobody has the power to make that to allow this person to run. So the only way. So to my point is that that's a significant blow to him, actually. Despite what you're warning that he's like this liar, he's constitutionally disabled.
Yeah.
And unless he has support like Congress, he's not going to get the support of Congress. This is exactly what, because they understand that the minute that you do that, that is the end of America.
Yeah, right.
As soon as you allow him to run for a third term, America has been lost to a fascist government. And he knows that. Speaker Johnson, and anyone with a brain knows that. That's why the 2-term limits in place in the first. That's the main protection
Right.
to the American people.
I want to share with you what Erica just said. But Trump is also demanding that the DOJ go after certain enemies purported to be in the files, which he could then use to say that we can't release the files because of an active investigation.
Well, some are saying that
That's an
he's going to
interesting
try to
point.
pull that shit, but that was happening before this. So yes, that's true. He said that. He said that before today, where he said, no. In fact, he got pushed to this point in this conversation today, where they were like, release everything, and he said, yes, release it all. Release it all. So here's the thing. Like, I just don't think he can hold up. I think he's going to cave.
Well, he's very old and
So here's the
unwell,
thing.
so
No, I'm
there's
talking
that
about. I'm just
too.
talking about like. I don't think he can. I don't think his charade is going to hold up. Marjorie Taylor Greene has turned. Before that, Speaker Johnson said, "You're not going to be able to run for a third term. There's just no pathway for it."
Here's the thing. I think a lot of them are recognizing that, like, okay, they've known for a really long time that the emperor has no clothes. You know that story, but they have to side with him because they feel like he has this political power and he's like,
Of course, they got.
he's like controlling enough.
But
of the
that
puppet
has
strings.
limits.
I know, but listen, but he's also very old, and so they are not. So they realize that if they want to have a long political career, that they kind of have to make their own decisions, and they can't just do every batshit crazy thing that he wants.
The other
especially
thing,
since he's extremely disloyal.
Yeah.
So it's not like he'll even give anybody any reward for siding with him over all this weird bullshit,
I wanted to just finish with this point, which was because it goes to Erica, which was that, and lastly, the judge just blasted the prosecutor in the Comey trial, like blasted the prosecutor for all but saying, you guys are trying to rig a fucking charge against the guy and you brought nothing.
Amazing.
Like, it is not good. So what I'm trying to say is, I was trying to put all this together into one string, and I realized it was a little long, so I apologize. But what I'm trying to say is that there's a lot of this all coming together in this big, like, the courts aren't going to work for him. Some will. He's going to get. He got Aline Gannon or whatever the fuck her name is. That absolute corrupt fucking. Poor excuse for a fucking judge who's trying to get onto the fucking Supreme fucking bench. Obviously. That thing, you're going to get a couple of those, and they worked out good for him because obviously he walked away from treason.
Yeah.
Right? But, or treasonous-like things. But it's not going to hold up. He's not going to be able to sweep up the whole structure, and he's seeing that. I really believe this. I believe that the fucking writing is on the wall, and we're going to start seeing and by the way, I saw another fucking headline that was dope as shit. I think it was, I don't know, one politician telling Canada, hey man, an American politician it might have been, I want to say Michael Bolton is hilarious. Who's the guy? Bolton? What's the guy? Michael Bolton. Who's the guy? The guy that wrote the book with the mustache.
John Bolton?
Maybe it's John Bolton. I don't know. One of those Bolton guys.
Bolton, yeah.
Anyway, some government guy says to Canada, hey, don't sit this one out for a while. Let the Supreme Court rule on whether or not those tariffs are even legal before you start fucking negotiating with this clown.
Oh.
So this is a big fucking deal, because if the Supreme Court finds that the tariffs were illegal, and I believe they are, especially now that we've seen publicly that he had tariffs on Switzerland. Switzerland came in and gave him this precious gold clock, and he reduced the fucking tariffs.
Yeah, it kind of gets over my head whenever you start talking about tariffs and economics, and it's just never been something that I've ever been educated about.
It's all falling apart. All of his fucking scheme is falling apart. Is all that I'm saying. And when the Epstein, when the Epstein files hit, if indeed they finally do, I think it'll be the fucking final blow.
Wednesday is forecasted to be a time where we hear something, learn something explosive, according to the astrology.
It could be the Epstein files.
Wednesday is Mercury in retrograde is opposing Uranus, and Uranus and Mercury combinations are usually very like a revolutionary talk, or like messages that come out of nowhere, big surprises,
Yeah, I mean, and that can last as long as it takes Mercury to come around into a conjunction, which includes a couple of other aspects, including a square. So there's stages to that, but this should be the initiation of it all.
An opposition where they're on opposite sides of the the chart wheel.
It's anoretic, by the way.
Yeah, so they're at 28 degrees. Well, Uranus is at 29 degrees. That's like
supercharged.
Somebody described it like if you're on like a springboard, and you're about to leap, it's like that kind of charged energy.
Yeah, it's supercharged.
Super. That's why everybody's predicting like something's gonna happen on Wednesday.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
But it's also
that's why it's gonna last too.
So Mercury in retrograde is also in Scorpio, and that signifies that maybe some sort of information is going to be drudged up from the deep, from the underground, like where it's hidden, and it's going to be brought into the light. And there's also a new moon happening, conjoining that on Thursday. So it's just a whole lot of emphasis about the astrology for Wednesday.
Yeah, there's a lot going down, dude. Like seriously,
big revelations.
Yeah, this is like some astrologers picked this period right now to be the sort of most intense, and really like there's a lot going on too. Like there's a lot of optimistic shit going on as well with this transit.
The end of the week is supposed to be very optimistic.
There's some really fucking cool shit because there's a Mercury Cazimi in there, and a Cazimi is when it gets supercharged by the sun as it joins into within a degree of the sun. They call that a Cazimi, and that's where whatever state of Mercury you have, it's going to be like super bright, super sort of prevalent, luminous within our.
I always thought
it's really fucking quite extraordinary. Pay attention, make a little journal about it and see what happens. We can, if you do something like that, you can really sort of start to recognize some of the ways in which it affects you, because it will always affect us differently.
Extremely ADD.
I'm going to be curious. I'm going to definitely be curious.
I also wanted to share with you just before we move on. You were talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene having this revelation.
Yeah, it's the craziest thing.
I know. Erica said like she was visited by 3 ghosts, like Christmas Carol style.
Yeah.
And then said, I just want to point out that I commented this before you got there, LOL.
Oh, you did? That's so funny. That's so funny. Yeah, it's just like that, though. It is the wildest thing. It does feel like that. She doesn't even look like the same person. Like her, all the, if you go look, I mean, if you take the video that I watched of her, and I bet if you take that video, those her expressions, and you put them next to 2022, and 2022, you're going to see lines and crease and anger and eyes popping and just big, crazy. And in this one, man, her face is like the muscles are chill, bro. Okay, it's like she's got psilocybin in those veins, bro.
Maybe
psilocybin in those veins.
Somebody doped her drink. Erica and Lacey were both helping us out that roosters crow.
They crow. I was going to say crow. I was going to say crow.
Neither of us could
Everyone's
crow,
like, oh, he's a fucking writer. My yes. I figured they crowed. I was going to say crow, but then I was like, crows crow, and they don't look anything like a rooster. And they go, and that means something.
Cosmic Urgency said, oh, the guy with the mustache? Yeah, he's called Satan.
That's very funny. Oh, by the way, we watched Boots. Why don't we get through, we watched the first episode of Boots. Do you want to get through that stuff first? Do you want to just blast
I don't want
it?
to spend a lot of time on it because we have so much we want to talk about today.
So
we
first
can
of all,
even push it till tomorrow if you want, but
no, let's do it right now because Cosmic's here and I want to make sure he gets it. And if we have a big like Baldoni day, he's gonna leave us for another podcast. So, all right, Boots. Let's start with Boots. We'll just start with Boots. So, Boots is a series that Cosmic Urgency thought we ought to check out.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's on Netflix, if I'm not mistaken.
I can't remember.
Cosmic, maybe you can help us out there. I think it's on Netflix. I don't know, whatever. But we watched the pilot. And the premise is that a gay man goes into, I think it's the army, or is it the Marines?
Marines.
It is the Marines. Goes into the, sorry, because it's the Marines. It's the badassery. So he goes into the badassery, the Marines.
So he like joins boot camp.
And he's in the closet.
Yeah.
Very much so. He's in the military. You don't want to be like, hey guys, you want to shower?
Oh, and it's supposed to take place in like the 80s or something.
Yeah, exactly. So it's totally, it's actually, I'll tell you, it's interesting that you said that because it has that feel to me. So the first thing that I noticed about it that I actually quite appreciated was it gave me the feel of what were gay and lesbian movies of the 80s and 90s. So a vibe I actually
70s because they're talking about Vietnam having been a recent thing.
So whatever it is, it gave me that vibe, which is a pleasant vibe for me. It actually kind of feels a little nostalgic because I like that, I like that filmmaking quite a bit, actually.
I disagree because the way that they did the color correction on this thing makes it look almost like animated.
It was more the feel, not the look.
Yeah.
It was more the feel, not the look. It was like, it wasn't as much the look at all. No, it was just more like the writing, the cadence of the and also like the way in which we know he's gay and nobody knows he's gay. And like, and that, well, I guess his friend knows he's gay.
Yes.
So it's him and his friend and that's it. And so, and we've only watched the pilot so far, but it just gave me that vibe, which is a vibe I really quite, like I found nostalgic and I found pleasant out of the gate. We're both wrong.
Cosmic Urgency said it's early 90s. What? Really?
Well, that makes more sense to me because that's the vibe specifically that I'm talking about.
Yeah, okay. That's good that resonated with you.
Well, it's not resonance as much as it's about just like, it was just a cool vibe that I picked up on right away. And I was like, oh, this feels very much like a 90s gay and lesbian movie, is what they would call them back then instead of LGBTQ plus. So I found that very pleasant. Without spoiling it, or like, sort of revealing anything specific about it beyond that, it's, I think, an interesting premise. I like the premise quite a bit. It's very problematic, and it has started out with this like very innocent, like kind of feel to it. Oh, look at this. It's the gay guy. He's going to stay in the closet, but he's going to pursue his, but he's going to pursue this career in the military. And so, you can easily start rooting for him. And then, but it's going to get ugly. And so knowing that that's hanging over me in the pilot, that hung over me, I'll say, throughout the whole pilot. So the whole pilot, I'm like, fuck, this is going to get ugly as fuck. This is going to get bad. That's how I feel. Like, just as I'm reading this, as I'm watching this, I'm a writer, right? So as a writer, I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, you're setting me the fuck up for the big, big hit for sure. It's coming. And I just got that right away off the pilot. So I really liked that. Okay. Like it made me immediately interested in what was to come because I was like, there's no way this is not a setup to just cut my throat. So, and I like that.
So you enjoyed it? You want to keep watching it?
Well, here's how I feel about it, actually. So I liked it enough for me to go 3 episodes. I didn't like it enough to be like, yes, this is my show. I'm watching this. I liked it because if I don't start seeing shapes come out of it, like, where the sort of, I guess we could call it, a more modern look, I suppose, at the problem. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
So which would be more of like so right now it just feels like a little more like, I don't know, just more like an in the closet movie or series. And, I want to see how it develops because if it just stays that way, I don't know how long I can stick around.
Yeah. For me, I'm not going to finish. It's a do not finish. Did not finish. I guess that's.
Will not finish.
Will not finish.
Yeah. WNF.
And it's because like 2 reasons. Number one, I was like, well, I've seen Officer and a Gentleman, and I've seen Full Metal Jacket, and I've just seen a lot of times where in media we've done this same thing where you're like, okay, this is what boot camp is. It's grueling. There's a bunch of people. There's a bunch of like superiors who were shouting at everybody, and it's just like, a very long.
Way too much in the pilot for sure.
There's so much of that, and I'm like, okay, cool. All these actors get to do a good job. But the color kind of like keeps me out. Like there's a lack of like where Full Metal Jacket is a good, I mean, obviously nobody's going to do better than Kubrick in like a TV show, but it's like there was no immersion. Like I felt like I couldn't possibly be the voyeur who's in the room because of the really the huge choices they made with the color in the Like it looks so much like a cartoon in the way that they've saturated everything. And yeah, I just felt like that was a
Honestly,
barrier. But also, you know, like whenever they have, I'm very sensitive to whenever there's like, if there's a narrator and I'm hearing like the narrator's monologue, you know, like they do a voiceover.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, I'm always very sensitive about like, is this even necessary, or can I just be seeing what this person's thinking instead of being told what they're thinking? But in this show, what they do is they have the narrator's monologue, and then they also have scenes where the kid is, where the protagonist is talking to himself. So it's like a physical manifestation of his inner monologue as another person in the scene that he's having a conversation with. And I was like, you can't do both.
That was definitely a slip up for me too.
Why would you do both?
Yeah.
So I just felt like that was really strange, and I was like, I just don't. It's just those two things together. I was just like, it's not for me.
Yeah, and listen, that's totally, I totally get it too. Like I do, especially when it comes to that choice to have a voiceover and then have, you know, a self.
When it happened, I was like, oh,
duality.
That's his twin. His twin is there. Because they had already established that his inner monologue happens through narration, you know? So I was like, oh, who's this guy? If they hadn't have had the narration, I think it would have landed a lot better, you know?
Can we just time out for a quick moment? Because I just saw Sponge say, thank you for putting Dawn's Plum on your channel. It's very useful. They say a movie that means a lot to me. It means a lot to me too. I made the movie. I don't know if you know that, but I actually made the movie. So it means a lot to me. That it means a lot to you means more to me than anything else.
And it's so great.
It means more to me than the movie itself, that it means so much to you. So I'm so glad that it touches you in some way, man. I'm glad you connect with it. And thank you for coming by and sharing your experience. It really does fill me with the kind of joy that you can't imagine. It really does. It's just, it's the best high in the world to hear from you. So thank you.
That's great.
So, do you want
just move on?
Do you want a tiny pineapple it, or are you just going to fucking call it a one? You're not even.
I don't think it's fair to
because it's one episode.
Not finish something and then give it a rating. So I'm not going to. I think that it's clear to me that the show isn't made for me. It's made for somebody else.
Yeah.
So I'm just not going to rate it.
I'm going to try to find a way to watch the other two episodes, and by that I mean Angela and I are inseparable. We live in quarantine, so. We live in quarantine, so she's literally like sometimes I'll just sit there and like like when I'm watching sports, I'm like, yeah, whatever, dude, whatever, to like absolutely nobody, and I'm like, I look over at Angela, and I'm just talking to some of my friends. It's cool. We're just hanging out, watching the game together. Whatever, dude.
But it's not like we're stuck together. I mean, I find that like I want to go do work alone in another room because I can focus better. But then I'm just like, I wonder what Dale's doing.
Yeah, well, we're addicted to each other. Is that we're codependent?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so I'm going to find a way to watch 2 more episodes because I believe that there's a story unfolding here that's probably worth watching. And I also thought that the acting was pretty solid throughout. So that was the other thing that I really did appreciate, even if the writing was slipping all over the place. For me, this might be one of those pilots that knows how to get better. And that's what I get. That's the vibe I get from this, is that it's like that. I don't know if you've ever watched shows like that. I'm trying to come up with an example, but I can't right now. Where like you're like, oh, okay, I'll just keep going anyway, and then you do. You know, obviously everybody loves a great pilot. You know, oh fuck, that's it, I'm in. Heroes, one of the best pilots I ever saw in my entire life. Lost, oh my god, I could never put that show down after that pilot. Do you know what I mean?
I think Ozark was like that. I was like, this is intriguing, this is interesting, but I don't think that I was hooked the entire time. But I kept watching it, and it was entertaining. It was a good show.
But there were plenty of pilots. Maybe Smallville would be a ridiculous example for me, where I was like, all right, I'll keep going.
Cosmic Urgency wants to know, did you guys keep watching the Lena Dunham poop? We did not.
No, we did.
Show.
We did 3 though. We did 3.
We did that the third episode was an offense. It was an offense to me and my time.
I realized that she, in 3 episodes, couldn't show me anything.
Yeah.
That she hadn't showed me in the first 10 minutes of the pilot. And I was like, you're not going to take 3 episodes to give me that.
I think it's the 3rd episode where she literally has her protagonist just having sex for like 20 minutes straight in all these various ways. And I'm like, okay, we get it. Your protagonist has sex. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, no, it's worse than that, because it's like she's an overweight protagonist, which is obviously,
I guess that was the point. I have no idea what
I think it was.
It
was
made
just,
no sense
to me, it was like nonsense. Like,
we
don't need that. We know that she's sexy and that big women can be incredibly fun. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I don't even have
okay.
to. I don't feel like I want to read into her reasons for doing it, because it was just boring.
So. Yeah, it didn't make it past 3, that one. But Boots is going to make it to 3 some way somehow for me. Maybe I'll get back on walking on the treadmill. Watch Boots.
Watch Boots by yourself?
Yeah, because it's, we're in basic training.
Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, let's move on. We have so much I want to talk about.
It ends with us. We watched the movie. It ends with us.
I'm not talking about that.
We're not going to do that?
No, well, because we don't have time, baby. We want to do this stuff too.
All right, then. What are we doing? We're doing we're doing the video next?
Well, what did you have on your thumbnail to cover?
The Baldoni tape.
Okay, great.
And Baldoni, and then in the comments I said we were going to do the Baldoni depot.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so this tape has been circulating. It was released as part of Wayfair's motion for summary judgment, and this is part of their evidence that they want to show everybody that they, I guess, believe exonerates him. I have no idea. The motion for summary judgment, I've learned, is the purpose of it is to show the judge that they agree on everything that they're showing, so that they can get those allegations thrown out. So maybe this is to show that he agrees that he was acting improperly. I have no idea. Anyway, people are sharing it because they believe it's really damning. So I saw on Reddit earlier somebody was being really, really critical because what the video that they shared had subtitles on it, and they had modified his voice, like amplified his voice, because it's a crowd scene, so it's really noisy, so you kind of can't hear Justin Baldoni speaking very clearly.
Right.
So somebody had done a really good job of like amplifying his voice and then also subtitling it, and some people were really skeptical about whether that was really what they were seeing. So I thought it would be worthwhile today to show the original that has been released by Baldoni's lawyers.
Yes.
And so you're so great at running this editing software. I don't know if there's anything that can be done with the sound. It's kind of harsh, so maybe I should warn you guys before we show this.
Well, I'll do what I can. I'm not a mixer.
Yeah, right. I know.
So I can edit. I can dialogue edit, but I'm not really much of a mixer beyond like.
Well, yeah, especially like
adding fades,
mixing live. You'd have to work on
it
all weekend.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely prefer a professional over me in all of these functions.
But the thing that he says that I believe is most damning is actually really audible, and it's in the beginning of this. This is a long 8-minute clip. Did you want to put it up? Just so everybody can
I'm
see?
about to.
Okay. It's a long 8-minute clip where this is a bar scene. I don't know if you guys saw the movie, you probably recognize this. This is the scene where Ryle's character, his sister Alyssa, reveals accidentally that she is pregnant because she's at a bar and she orders water. So they're all setting up in this crowded bar. I guess the context for the complaint is that it's very hot in this room, and their costume is everybody's wearing onesies, because the bar gives free drinks to people who wear onesies in the story. So Justin Baldoni is
Would you go to a bar for what did you get? What do you get? Free what?
Free beer if you wear onesies.
Yeah. Would you go to a bar for free if you were beer drinking?
Like
100%.
Every time they say
for
that.
Sure.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would go to a bar in a onesie even if they didn't offer.
I might too. Yeah.
If you could get away with wearing a onesie in public and have nobody criticize you for it, yeah, absolutely, I would be doing that.
Would you get the Phillies fanatic onesie? Is that what you get?
I actually really admired the onesies that they chose. Like, they put Justin Baldoni's character Ryle, who's this abusive boyfriend, they put him in one with rainbows on it. And then this other dude is wearing one that has like those comic book.
Yeah, it's right there. It's on screen now.
Bam Pow. Like, I was like, oh, I kind of want that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Where do they sell that? So
they probably had their wardrobe just fucking sew that shit up, dude. It's amazing.
I found what they were both saying about this issue in the lawsuit. Okay.
Okay.
Do you want me to? Would you like to hear what Lively says about this, and then what Baldoni says about this?
Do you want to play it first or hear it first?
What do you think is better?
Well, maybe if we hear it first, then we won't be listening to what they're trying to say, and then I don't know.
Okay. Well, I think the context will help if I read you what they say about it first.
Okay, then let me get this. Let's just put you back on screen then. Okay. Go ahead.
No, leave it. That's fine.
Read.
Okay. So, according to Lively's lawsuit, okay, they're describing what this conversation that's going on behind the scenes before they film in this bar, okay?
Yeah.
So her lawsuit reads, later that day, Mr. Baldoni pressured Miss Lively, who was in her pre-approved wardrobe, to remove her coat in front of the crew and multiple background actors in a packed bar. He said that he wanted to see her onesie under her coat because it was zipped low. Her onesie was zipped low to reveal her lace bra. Consistent with past practice, he said, "I think you look sexy," in a tone that made her feel ogled and exposed. With other female cast members present, she said, "That's not what I'm going for." He bristled and replied, "I'm sorry, hot." Deeply uncomfortable, Miss Lively said, "Not that either." Mr. Baldoni responded sarcastically, "I guess I missed the HR meeting," and walked away. Another woman on the production spoke to Miss Lively afterward to offer empathy and to share her own similar experiences, with Mr. Baldoni commenting about her in sexual terms. As a result of Mr. Baldoni's behavior, on May 29th, 2023, another cast member lodged a sexual harassment complaint about Mr. Baldoni's, in quotes, gross and, in quotes, unwanted comments towards her and others. So this is Baldoni's version of events. He had heard her story in her lawsuit and then wrote his own, so his story comes after, okay? He's refuting hers. For example, so this is Baldoni's. For example, I just picked it up because the first part of this section is repeated at the end. You know, they bookend. Okay, so for example, her allegation that Baldoni inappropriately called her sexy was in fact a reference to a scene where everyone was wearing onesies, but Lively was covering her onesie with a big coat. Baldoni, her director, asked that she take off the big...
And Lord.
Yeah, this is couched in...
it's like, which is it?
This is...
Did she take over the film, or are you the guy in charge?
Yeah, I know.
Which is it?
This whole description is couched in a whole paragraph about how she refuses to take direction. She's just being difficult, okay? Baldoni, her director, asked that she take off the big coat so that her onesie would be visible in the scene. Baldoni said it will be hot, as it was 90 degrees in the small bar with no air conditioning. Lively mischaracterizes this in her complaint as Baldoni referring to her personally as hot, using the slang meaning of the term, given that Lively herself had earlier expressed to him that she wanted her character's wardrobe to be sexier. Baldoni encouraged her to accept direction by saying it's sexy, meaning that without the big coat, the wardrobe was sexier, as Lively had said she wanted it to be. Lively took this personally. She was unable to take direction, later alleging his behavior was inappropriate. Regarding her, so that's in parentheses, she was unable to take the direction regarding her self-chosen wardrobe, stating, "That's not what I'm going for." Baldoni, recognizing that she may have taken his direction personally and appeared offended, apologized more than once. His statements were immediately followed by his gesture that she had something in her teeth and a request for someone on set to get her a toothpick. This exchange, all of which is captured on camera, demonstrates how ludicrous and deliberately malicious Lively's allegations are.
Ooh. Sounds really juicy. Let's go.
Disagreement, folks.
All right, here we go.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, right there. So he says, take the coat off.
I think it's hot. He says it. You can see it in his mouth. In his mouth. You can see his lip reading.
Okay.
Ready, everybody? We really
Do you mind? Are you comfortable? Said that.
should go, please. So, again, who's going to watch everything here? A wall comes in, right? So please make sure that nobody's standing right here, please. Okay. All right. We should go. Ready?
I think it's going to be pretty hot.
So.
All right. We should go. Ready?
That, I believe, is a wardrobe. I think somebody said her name.
This person?
Yes. Someone also said in the video that they think she's holding her coat, but I can't understand how two things could be true at the same time.
All right. We should go. Ready?
I think it's going to be hot.
All right.
somebody lock it up. We get a
Toothpick, please. Viv, do you have a toothpick?
yeah, right here.
Thank you.
Dude, I'm like checking out the lighting. I'm like, oh, okay.
Do you have it up?
Oh, fuck. God damn it. All right. Jesus Christ. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't have the chat in front of me. It's live. I'm not a perfect person. All right, here we go, guys. So here we go.
Thank you so much.
So right there he says, I think you should take it off or take it off, right? I feel like you would take it off.
Okay, if you look in her arms, this shorter woman standing next to Justin Baldoni,
Here?
you can see her. She adjusts. It looks like she's holding a coat.
Yeah, but he clearly says, I think you should take it off.
Right. So is he talking about the onesie top, or is he talking about a coat?
Why
'Cause
would
we
he?
can't
He's
see
not
her.
taking the onesie top. Do you see it? Watch. Watch. Hang on. So he's talking about the character there. You know, I feel like you would take it off. He's talking about the character. There's little doubt in my mind.
Ready, everybody?
Then he asks if she's comfortable.
Do you mind? Are you comfortable?
Okay, well, that's all right.
We really should go, please. So, again, who's gonna watch everything here? A wall comes in, right? So please make sure that nobody's standing right here, please. Okay. All right. We should go. Ready?
I think it's going to be hot. That's pretty clear there. And I don't think that's from a sexual standpoint.
It doesn't matter.
We should go. Ready?
He could be saying it to mean temperature hot or like attractive hot. We don't know. I mean, he could mean it one way, but the way he's stating it could be interpreted another way.
Okay.
So I feel like that's a neutral one.
Well, let's see how it progresses. There he says sexy.
It's sexy.
It's sexy.
And you can see her reaction.
Hers?
Yes.
Yeah, those lips are immediately pursed.
She's looking, I believe that they're both looking at Blake Lively, because I think behind this AD who's doing this really loud talking, I think that's where, what's her name is? Plays Alyssa. What's her name?
Slate?
Yes,
Jenny
Jenny Slate.
Slate?
Yeah.
I'm still, you know, we're not getting into the movie yet, but like, I'm still annoyed about the slow dance scene when he basically said he hired her because she had a hook nose.
Yeah, he just has this like instant word association where as soon as they're talking about big noses, he's like, yeah, like Jenny Slate.
She wasn't even brought up in the conversation.
I know.
Like they were talking about his nose and he had
I
to
know.
shift that to Jenny Slate and now everybody heard that.
I know. It's so fucking rude.
It really pisses me off.
I know, me too.
Isn't that weird? But I think about it constantly. I'm like, dude, why did you fucking say that? She wasn't even a part of the conversation, dick. All right, here we go. Sorry, I'm just ranting.
All right.
Sexy.
Somebody lock it up. We get a
Toothpick, please. Viv, do you have a toothpick?
yeah, right here.
Thank you.
It's a bag. That's what she's holding.
Okay.
Watch. You can see it. She gives it to her. So that's not a mystery. She just gives her the bag. Watch.
Somebody
Right
lock
here.
it up. We get a
Toothpick,
Oh, no,
please.
she
Viv,
isn't.
do you have a toothpick?
yeah, right here.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're right. She's got like a blanket or something. Okay, so there's the moment that everyone's talking about. Let's hear it again. So
And he's saying that to Jenny Slate.
yeah, so I think that I think he's learning that he fucked up by saying that it's sexy,
Mhm.
and he shouldn't have. He could have easily just said, "You look great. This looks great. Let's just do this. This looks amazing. You look amazing." Like that you say that she looks sexy is definitely not cool. But, you know, how egregious is it? Well, I guess that's open for debate. Here we go. I'm going to listen to this again. He apologizes to Jenny Slate.
He's looking direct to camera.
He apologizes to Jenny Slate.
Yes.
He says, sorry, I didn't make it to the meeting.
No, I missed the sexual harassment
He
meeting.
apologizes to her. Did you know that?
No, what I can hear him say clearly, even though there's all this noise, is sexual harassment. Is what?
Yeah.
Is what?
Watch, he starts with sorry. Listen. See that?
Mm-hmm.
Right there. Sorry. So I wonder why he said sorry. Was he voluntarily like apologize? Was he voluntarily apologizing? Or did he like, yeah, I mean, this is crazy. Listen to this one more time.
There it is.
And then he rolls his eyes. What does he say?
He says, "I can hear it. It's."
I want to know what he says there. She's smiling.
Scoot back a couple frames. Look at Blake Lively's face. It's the first time we get to see her.
It's a big smile.
Oh, somebody might be talking to her. I thought she might have been reacting, but she looks like she's missing somebody. I can hear him say sexual harassment meeting. And somebody else subtitled it, I guess I missed the sexual harassment meeting.
Yeah, I want to hear it again.
And that makes sense to me.
It sounds very much like he says, I missed the sexual harassment meeting. And then he rolls his eyes at the camera.
Directly into camera.
Whatever you do, you're always pantomime talking to one another. You're always saying something, right? About the game.
Yeah, I'm going over there. Like Hassan.
Is there any more?
No, then they just start filming the scene.
Yeah, so here's some interesting stuff. Let's just scrub this forward here. So look at this stuff. This footage here where, this is BTS.
So you can see how low her zipper is. I don't know whether that was what he was attempting to lower her zipper.
So I don't know if there's no audio here.
Oh, really?
Looks good for you?
Oh, can you put you in the boys' room? Yeah.
I just saw the lady that didn't get high-fived
Oh my god! I
in
know.
the background.
We just watched this movie, and so I was watching this back just to learn more about how the scene actually went down and how Blake Lively was dressed. And there's a lady at the bar where this scene is the pregnancy gets revealed, and the father throws his arms up and says, "I'm gonna be a dad." And there's a lady that's like 2 seats down from him that leans forward to like high five him. This lady with a hair clip right behind them, and he leaves her high five unfived. It's really fun. It's a really funny choice. It's always neat to see in movies when like the extra decides to make a choice and nobody else is reciprocating.
Yeah. Here's Blake Lively's looking like they're all in a conversation. I mean, Baldoni's talking off out to our left.
Are you playing that sound?
I haven't. No, I haven't been playing it.
No, you don't have to. I'm just saying.
Is there something to hear?
No, it's just very loud, so I didn't know whether
It's not playing for them right now. Is that what you're
great.
asking?
Yes, that's what.
Yeah, no, it's not playing for them right now. So I don't know what she's saying, but they look like they're. I mean, Jenny Slate just laughs. Blake Lively's laughing. Everybody looks pretty chill. Definitely, you can see just how low that goes. And there's a moment where he looks down toward her breasts before he says "sexy."
Well, he's talking about her wardrobe, so that doesn't seem like out of.
It's not out of line, no. And they're there. You know what I mean? Like, it's just there's no escaping it.
Well, I mean, if they're discussing the zipper, if they're discussing whether she should, I don't know.
She's, just everybody's looking like. I guess this is a part of what they're showing here is that, like, does this look like somebody who doesn't want to be like? There she is smiling at him, presumably. That doesn't necessarily mean anything, but she is smiling at him. Looks like they're about to shoot it. Yeah, there she is smiling again, that girl. She's got herself $1 million smile.
Was she talking to Jenny Slate with the headband right there?
Yeah, no, they're having a good time. I mean, I wonder if you got to keep your onesie, like extras got to keep their onesie. But like, can I keep my onesie, bro? That must have been a nightmare for all the PAs and shit.
I actually
onesies.
didn't try to discern anything else from the rest of this. It's an 8-minute long BTS video, and I didn't try to pick through and hear anything because it's really, really difficult to hear.
Well, it doesn't look
so
like
much
there's going to be a
crowd noise.
whole lot of audio opportunities. I think a lot of this is like there you see them
And then
together again.
This lady right here with the glasses, I'm assuming that's his first AD. She has one of those really great, like really loud AD voices, and she's talking all the time, and so you just cannot hear anything else when she's talking to all the extras.
I know. I don't have audio on right now. I'm just kind of scrubbing through it to just to get a feel for the footage. Like, what I see is, there's the one who goes the high five.
Yeah, she's involved.
Yeah, she's a big part of the background for sure.
See, I think they're filming this. See all the celebration. This is how the scene goes.
Oh, so this is the actual scene. Okay.
Yeah, they're filming. And then they just go to Video Village. One of these guys moves this big wall over. Yeah. And then we can't see anymore.
So this is definitely in between scenes. They're talking. What is this? Mind if I put this on?
Mm-mm.
Let's see what's up.
I'm just waiting so that she can look at you and kind of moment of. All right, how was that better?
That's loud. Sets are so loud.
See, look at how awesome his onesie is. I want one of those. Look, it's got bang, pow.
Yeah, his is dope.
A scientist said Slate's face in this section is very telling.
In this section? Let's see.
I don't know that I don't know if I would read anything into that just because
All right, here, okay.
like being annoyed because you're in between takes on a set is like kind of normal.
Yeah, it's impossible to know what she's thinking. I think that the worst of this is that he's and this is I think this is how this evidence hurts him and doesn't help him. And I think it's important though that for me at least to keep this into some reasonable perspective. I believe that he was directing when he was talking about her wardrobe, and I also believe that he was when he talked about her being hot. I think I think he was, sets are hot to begin with, even now with so much cooler lights, still fucking blazing hot on a set. And also, again, I mean, it's just, that all just seems well within well, I'm still looking through this footage. Yeah, so there they are talking. So there's Jenny Slate smiling at Justin Baldoni as he's talking to Blake. Let's watch what she does here. Yeah, and she's, I don't know. I don't see anything.
I mean, she's definitely not avoidant. You know what I mean?
You just put her hand on her. See that? And look how she reacts.
I like this extra in the back with the Boston Bruins shirt on.
So, yeah, I know.
They did really good extras casting.
Dude, when I was a kid, that was my team. I loved the Boston Bruins, and I loved number 4, Bobby Orr, bro. Oh my God. Defenseman changed the game.
Someone NMH is with us in the chat. Said
What's up?
The way he said hot was not about the temperature.
Okay, well, listen, maybe, I don't know that's, maybe you're right. I'm not going to argue that he, I can't argue one way or another. And I think that's the thing about this footage is that I can't see anything that's like, okay, here's what I see that is to me super inappropriate. He clearly says,
get us out of the dots?
I missed, well, I'm not finished. I still want to, I guess I am. He said, I missed the sexual harassment meeting. And so and this is why I think this
sexual harassment training, I think is what
or training, fine, yeah, training.
I heard him say missed the sexual harassment, but I can't tell what the rest of the sentence was. Okay.
It was either training or meeting, from what I heard.
Yeah,
and
right.
So to finish my point is that I think that says enough. I think it shows that they didn't take that issue seriously. And that's what I think it shows. I think he's trying to like have this footage show that she's smiling and having a good time, that before, during, and after the statement, there was no obvious, tension between them that can be seen in this footage.
Mm-hmm.
This footage that we just watched, they're all having a good time. They're laughing. I'm in the freeze frame I have right now. All I can see are Blake Lively's eyes over his shoulder.
And they're smiling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jenny Slate was just smiling. It doesn't matter whether it's so I think that's the reason why he was showing that. But I think where it does backfire is that he clearly downplays the SH comment, and he seems to do so out of nowhere. I can't confirm this because the footage is too unclear, but it's almost as if he just thought about that himself, which means that he was conscientious of what he was saying and how it could be interpreted.
Hinata in the chat says, this guy is so passive-aggressive when rejected and rebuffed.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about passive-aggressive.
Saying sarcastic, making a sarcastic remark like, I guess I missed the sexual harassment training. He obviously doesn't think that what he's doing is a big deal, and he thinks it's being made.
That's it.
Blown up.
Right.
To be something.
This hypersensitive chick over here.
Offensive. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So so far, Blake Lively's version of events is the closest. She did not have the benefit of having this footage because, again, this is owned by Justin Baldoni and his production company. So when she was writing her complaint, in her lawsuit, she was working with her memories and whatever notes she had taken.
Apparently,
so
they
when
were fairly.
When she said, Mr. Baldoni responded sarcastically, I guess I missed the HR meeting, and walked away. Well, he didn't walk away, but he did say something so similar to that I feel like this falls within the sum and substance rule.
Sum and substance, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also the thing that we can't hear her say, right, is I wasn't going for that, and so he also acknowledges in his statement about of the event is that she misinterpreted what he meant when he said it was hot. So he's putting forth as evidence as saying when I said it was hot, I was talking about the temperature. I think that's a plausible, explanation.
You think that's genuine?
I think it's plausible. I'm not going to call genuine. I'm not in a position to call genuine.
I agree that it's plausible. It doesn't. Here's the thing, though. It's like it's not really relevant whether she made a mountain out of a molehill. What's relevant is that if any of his employees has a complaint, he has to deal with it properly. He can't just be like, "Oh,
I understand that. We've absolutely true." So when he says it's hot or it's whatever, and then she says I wasn't going for that, he seems to double down.
Yeah, well,
And then he's saying that's
he
and
says-
he says that's an explanation. As an explanation, that's because she wanted the outfit to be more sexy.
Yeah. Okay. So in his explanation, he is framing this as if she refuses to take direction, and I don't see that either. I don't see that this is a guy who is trying to get his actor to take direction, and she's refusing, and he's having this like battle of wills with her. That doesn't seem like that's happening in this footage either. So his story, to me,
I will
doesn't
say
make
it's
sense.
emphatically not happening.
Yeah, he's like, "Are you sure? Like, would you be comfortable
You would
with
see,
that?"
you would see he would pull her off to the side if it was an issue, or if it was
Or you
even.
talk to the wardrobe person and be like, "Hey, can you make sure that we can accomplish this?"
No, forget the wardrobe person. I'm telling you on set right there. If she was being difficult, he's going to be like, "Listen,
Yeah.
you know, this is what we're going to do," or he'd like get more tuned into it. It was very much open and casual. There was no serious like there was no tension there at all. Absolutely none.
So yeah, I'm
There's no way
referencing-
she was not taking direction.
Like I'm looking at this, his version of this and her version of this, and they both don't get it right. And again, he has the benefit of having his video. So one thing that he definitely does leave out is the fact that he made some sarcastic remark about sexual harassment, which I heard very clearly. Whatever the context of the rest of that sentence is, whatever I might be mishearing because everything else is so muddy, he definitely does say sexual harassment, and I don't know why that would be justifiable.
Why
in the
would you use
context.
that? Yeah.
Also, you know, this is his evidence coming from his side. He has all of the footage. This scene was mic'd up. Everybody here is mic'd. They performed this scene. He could have released exactly what this was through the audio that they had obtained.
That's
on
not
each one of
necessarily
them.
true. Just because they
You
were
don't
mic'd
think so?
doesn't mean they were being recorded. No,
Oh, before they actually started
they
filming?
weren't being recorded. There's no way they were being recorded.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of cameras in this scene, right? You can see all these guys.
Yeah, so there might be those cameras might have more raw audio on them. You mean like onboard audio?
Yeah, like closer to their conversation.
Possibly.
And I was wondering, so if they're mic'd up for the scene,
But you heard how noisy it is.
right? If they're mic'd up for the scene that we see play out in this 8-minute clip, how come we can't hear any of the audio? So you're saying it wouldn't even be picked up from the mics that are on them?
No way. I'm saying they're not recording right now. They're not rolling. And if they're not rolling, then they're not rolling sound.
Gotcha.
And if they're not rolling sound, they're not recording anything. So people can hear it. You know, people on you know, the context, they can hear them, contacts. But not recorded probably.
I just think it's really strange that there's this one guy who's obviously filming he's filming BTS footage. He's not one of the other guys who's like holding the cameras. I don't know. Like this is what they release. It's all the way on the other side of the room. You can't hear anything that's happening. You can't see Blake Lively when he's speaking to her. I just feel like this seems very selectively chosen to be difficult to interpret.
Just so you know, when he says that sexual harassment comment, you know, they talk about when they're setting it up in the depositions, they talk about how Wayfair is maybe 10 people. So it's very easy to minimize the role of an HR department in a company of 10 people. It's really easy. But policy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then processing of any kind of complaints or issues would trickle all the way down to their productions, for sure. The HR department, I would imagine, in any production company would have because you don't need an HR department for 10 people. You don't. You know, you have a complaint, you would set out a complaint, a policy, you put out a policy and then a complaint and then review process for each employee. And you would give some, sort of, you could potentially, if necessary, create an arbitration clause, right?
Right, but this is no longer 10 people.
This is when you see these videos, you can see the number. Every one of those people are Wayfair employees. Every single one of those people are on the payroll for Wayfair. That Steven Sarowitz likes to brag about forking over all the money for.
Yeah.
They're paying for all of that. So that's that HR department's role. So just to put it into perspective, and in fact, let me just put this back up because this is interesting. We talked about these other two depositions, and they talked about this HR department. Look at all these people. Look at all these heads. These are all the HR department. Every one of them fall. So every single, and this is of course just a smidgen. You know, you ever see that universe picture from Hubble? You know, you pull this out, there's a lot more. There's dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of people working on this movie. It's a fairly big production. You know, it's obviously by Hollywood standards, it would be a small production at 26 million, but 26 million is a lot of employees, and they all are working for Wayfair. And so the policies or that policy or whatever policies that they choose to have in place for production, which may or may not differ from the company policies, are going to, obviously apply to every single employee. So when they're playing it down like, oh yeah, she works from home or whatever, well, when they're on fucking productions, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, you got to have somebody
because
ready.
this is where, because then when you look at all these people just right here, now you have to, forget about Justin Baldoni, forget about Jamie Heath, forget about the higher ups and upper management. How many people here are potentially perpetrators or victims in any given moment on a set? Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. What guy here says something inappropriate or does something inappropriate, even worse, right? Or woman. And then what is the policy for those people to file complaints and see those complaints through to resolution? What is the policy? And that's why it matters. And that's why she needs to, or whomever it may be, needs to be there needs to be some kind of presence through production.
Yeah.
When you have hundreds of people and where these kinds of events can happen.
Yeah. Speaking of HR, there's so according to Blake Lively's complaint, they hint that they have these corroborating witnesses.
Yes.
Another woman on the production spoke to Miss Lively afterward to offer empathy and to share her own similar experiences with Mr. Baldoni, commenting about her in sexual terms. So that is specified as another woman on the production. But
it's inappropriate for him to say sexy.
But then she says,
I don't even care if she said she wanted to be sexy. He should be saying things like, you look great. You look amazing. You look perfect. This is what I want to see on camera. Trust me. You got to trust me. Like, these are the kinds of communications that I would be having with my actor with her zipper down to her middle of her chest. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be calling her sexy ever once. No fucking way would I do that.
I don't care if she used it first.
I don't care. It wouldn't matter to me.
Because I'm a professional.
I mean, listen, I guess I say that, and then as I say, I go, no way. Then I think about like the relationships I had with the people I had on Don's Plum, or even some of the relationships I had on Small Group.
You would never use that word with somebody who's.
I certainly wouldn't use it as a way to describe them.
I don't even think I've ever heard you use that word.
Yeah.
You would definitely be a little bit, especially in a professional environment.
Yeah, it would be very
where
unusual
you're in charge
word for me.
of running things and making people feel like they're in a secure environment where they're not.
But I have been in a workplace and said to my workplace buddy, that chick was hot or something like that. For sure. I've done that 100 times, I'm sure.
Okay, but listen, I'm trying to make a point.
Yeah.
Okay, so Blake Lively mentions two other people. Okay. She says another woman on the production spoke to Lively afterward to offer empathy and share her own similar experiences with Baldoni, commenting about her in sexual terms. So that she says another woman on the production, but then she says, as a result of Baldoni's behavior, another cast member lodged a sexual harassment complaint about his gross and unwanted comments toward her and others. So it seems like the characterization, the description of these two people makes it two different women.
Yeah.
So she's mentioning this
That's
because
a big deal.
I believe she has witnesses who can testify to this event.
Yes.
And
say where she said that's not what I'm going for.
The second one isn't this event, but it's a similar. Another cast member lodged a sexual harassment complaint.
Well, I'll tell you, it's interesting.
Gross and unwanted comments toward her and others.
And by the way, the other thing that I think people don't want to give her credit for, Blake Lively, and that is that she has said that she did not believe that the sexual harassment that occurred on the set of It Ends With Us was egregious, super egregious. It was inappropriate. She complained about it.
Yeah.
But she said, and I can't imagine, from what I've seen, I'm sure it's true, that she has endured far worse in Hollywood than what she endured on that set. And so I think people are constantly looking at something explosive because it has these two explosive words: sexual harassment. So explosive. And people don't understand that.
Which is what he says. It's so weird that he says it. I don't understand what he's thinking of doing when in that moment. Like, brother, you have a lot riding on the line. Like, I can't believe that he's acting so frivolous. These sexual harassment and anti-harassment policies that he has in his HR department and the labor laws that he has to follow if somebody makes a complaint, those exist to protect his company too. I don't know why he's acting so frivolous. Why would you ever let somebody have a reason to escalate a sexual harassment complaint?
I think it's just a loose. I think he's I think he's a misogynist. I think he's a misogynist. That's just what I think of him.
But the lack of protection for his own business is just astonishing to me.
that's the foolish part. This whole thing, the fumble, we're going to get into it when we talk about the film, and because we watched it, it ends with us, as I said earlier. We're going to give you our opinions on it. Angela's not sure that she thinks we should be handing out Tony Pineapples yet, so I'm not sure we
because
agree.
we're so biased.
We're so biased
about the movie.
but I think I can be unbiased about it enough to rate a movie because I look at movies as movies. I looked at this movie as a movie, and I looked at it, in its category too. You know what it is.
Right.
Like I'm not going to compare it to the fucking Godfather or Exorcist.
I wanted to show it to you because I was curious about your, I know that you're, as a filmmaker, you have like an eye for what is skilled work and maybe what was messy and had to be covered up,
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk about it because I have some opinions on it for sure. Where were we? All right. So should we get into the Baldoni? I mean, first of all, is chat? How's chat?
So Lee
I haven't even
asked,
looked at chat.
Lee asked, and
so sorry,
other
guys.
people in the chat were answering, why is this coming out now? Justin Baldoni's legal team filed a motion for summary judgment.
Yeah.
And so they have to supply the judge with, in their filing, they're referencing a bunch of evidence that they believe is no longer in question and doesn't need to be shown in front of a jury. It doesn't need to be scrutinized in a jury trial.
Yeah.
So they're hoping that something like this allegation can get thrown out because he's providing evidence that everybody can agree on. I don't believe that this is evidence anybody can.
Well, no, I think it ultimately harms him because I think on the one hand he can lay some groundwork and some inroads in on the idea that maybe she misunderstood him and that misunderstanding grew to, this tension between them, and that doesn't necessarily constitute sexual harassment. The problem is that he says, I missed the sexual harassment training or meeting. And if he says that, and that's believable to any jury, if whatever enhancements that, the audio guys come in here and they lift it all up and they're like, yep, this is what he definitely says, then that means that he knew that what he had done triggered in that way.
Was offensive.
And the response to that is not to roll your eyes at the camera and play down the bad feelings. Because
absolutely not.
One thing
look at the situation it got him in. He's in a lawsuit now.
His career is over. He ruined his career over this. This is why it's the biggest fumble I've ever seen in my fucking life, because he ruined his career over this. He didn't recognize, and I think there's a part of maybe it's his arrogance, maybe it's his. It feels like hubris,
I understand, in a moment, if somebody's like, you're being offensive, and you're like, dude, I'm not, just chill out, right? And you could be like, oh, I guess I missed the sexual harassment training. I understand, but this dude is the fucking boss. He can't
do that.
He can't behave that way.
No, if he's aware that she could have interpreted of what something he did as a potential of sexual harassment, that should have been red flag city.
Right.
And the first thing he should have said is, hey, listen, I'm not trying to make you feel uncomfortable. Did I do that? Yeah,
and he does admit to apologizing for these sorts of instances all the time, but he doesn't carry it any further. And when he neglects his obligations as an employer to take it further and make a record of these investigations and do all the things he's supposed to legally do. It's very simple protocol. He violates the law. And so it's up to her to file a civil lawsuit against us if she wants to pursue a remedy for his liability for not following through.
The sexual harassment remark shows a disregard for the very policy that they apparently had. It shows a disregard for the rules.
Yeah.
It just does.
Right.
If he felt that way, his response should have been, I hope you're not feeling offended by this. Let me clarify my intentions. Right. Because as I've said before, the thing that he didn't do that could have saved his business and his future is they should have done what their manual says, and they should have had an investigation over any claims that were filed, any kind of complaint registered, not filed, registered, any kind of complaint.
Why does his company have that policy if he's not going to fucking follow it?
As the owner of the company, if one of your employees come up to you and say something or other, blah, 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 this is a problem, and it involves any of your policies, you, the owner, should go to HR and say, blah, 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 said blah, 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 so blah, 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 blah. Can you look into this and make sure everything's okay? At the very least, you should have done that. At the very fucking least, you should have done that. You should have engaged HR to protect your own self. Because once you do that, and by the way, this will definitely be their policy moving forward. Once you do that, then HR will write a report And they'll say, Justin Baldoni, who is the chairman of the fucking company, came to me and said that an employee might have been uncomfortable with something he said. I talked to the employee and the employee was uncomfortable. And I was able to clarify on behalf of Justin Baldoni, his intentions, his true intentions, and we closed the matter, you know?
Yeah.
And then you have a record that, you know, there was an offense and then there was a process to remedy the offense.
Right.
And there's also an investigation and then ultimately an opinion. So, and that opinion based on policy. For example, we didn't see or we don't agree that anything happened. Or although there was no violation of company policy, we do want to make sure that you are feeling comfortable in this situation.
If they had done that,
Something like
then Blake Lively's CRD complaint would have gone nowhere, right?
It would have died on the vine immediately.
She wouldn't have gotten permission to sue.
They wouldn't have had to retaliate.
If he had actually done what his corporate policy says he was supposed to do, or company policy or whatever, then it would have protected him, because that's what it's for.
And I guess people want to be like, because these look like small offenses to anyone not involved directly. And again, you know, I can't stress this enough, right? And we know this now because we know in Justin Baldoni's own words, when he talked about, when he wrote to his brothers over the bludgeoning that he took, the verbal bludgeoning or whatever, the setup, the what do you call it? The setup. Yeah, right. He got set up.
Oh yeah, he called it ambush.
Yeah, the ambush. Thank you. So in the ambush conversation, where was I going with that? God
I don't
damn
know.
it.
Do you want to hear from the chat?
Yeah, please.
A scientist is saying, "OMG, you can't just say that the temperature is sexy."
Oh no, he's definitely talking about her outfit when he says sexy. That's 100%.
And his defense for that is that she used the word first, and so he was like, it looks sexy, like you want.
Well, if you like when you listen to what the dialogue, the supposed dialogue exchanges,
yeah,
it's a plausible idea, because what he says is it's hot. She says that's not what I'm going for. It's not what he was necessarily trying to say, but she takes the coat off and he's like, it's sexy. And he's pointing it back out to her because she said she wants the outfit to be more sexy. So it's not implausible.
It is very dangerous to speak that way, because they did in another piece of BTS footage. Somebody is talking about the boots that she's wearing. The shoes she's wearing, they're like big, tall boots, but I don't know, they're strange, super fancy shit. And she was like, yeah, this is really sexy looking or something. She refers to her shoes as sexy.
Yeah.
It is very different for her to refer to an
object,
a garment,
an object,
as sexy,
yes,
than for him to refer to her as sexy.
Yes.
You look sexy in that. So, I mean, I don't know why people can't understand the difference, but that seems very reasonable.
Totally.
Especially
a sexy car versus a sexy woman. Very easy to distinguish.
Somebody was saying that in the context that this happened on the 23rd of May, and if that's the case, then that means that there's already been other complaints by her that they know about. That she's voiced complaints, and they don't dispute that the thing she's complaining about did happen. So, like, why is he not stepping more carefully around this woman? If he actually feels like she's overly sensitive about those other things in the past 2 weeks that they've been shooting, or 1 week or whatever.
Also, if he was talking about if he was talking about something she said, why is his response about missing the sexual harassment training instead of his response being, it's what she wanted. It's what she asked for.
Exactly.
It's what you wanted.
It's weird.
Like he didn't like, and I'm not saying that necessarily proves anything, but it does feel weird that the conversation,
that he doesn't take any of her accusations seriously, and he does not give a fuck.
Yeah, no, he shows a blatant disregard for sexual harassment policy by just saying what he said right
After
there.
reviewing this footage today, I have changed my opinion about what this whole thing means. I do believe that he feels that he could be correct in believing that his comments are taken out of context, and that she is taking offense to something he didn't mean to be offensive.
Which happens. That's cool.
Which happens all the time.
Especially if, and by the way, our scientist points this out. This apparently happened the morning after the birthing scene.
Yeah.
Which we have some photographs to go over with that.
Yeah.
But so she's already got this problem with him, and I've been in that situation. I think we've all been in a situation where somebody's mad at you, and everything you say is an offense, even though you're not
Totally.
saying anything offensive
And I get
in your
that.
intention or whatever.
There's no, I don't think that there's an excuse for him to say, I guess I missed the sexual harassment training.
Yeah.
And I think that, I think it's very interesting.
No,
that
that's a problem.
He left that out of his explanation.
Of course he did.
He left that out of his explanation in his lawsuit, and that needs to be explained.
Well, it also shines context on her feelings. Like, it gives color to her feelings.
Yes.
Because if he's doing
She's
that
being
and
belittled.
rolling
Yeah.
his eyes at the camera, that means he's not respecting the fact that she's not feeling comfortable. And what I was trying to say earlier, and that's what I missed out on, was that in that statement that he made to his brothers, he talked about how Blake Lively repeatedly at the ambush meeting repeatedly talked about a safe environment or not safe environment. Like, women want to feel safe. They want to feel comfortable.
Oh, yeah,
they want
right.
to feel not. They don't want to feel like they're an object of your pleasure. And if he's sitting there making her feel that way, even if it's on a minor level, she's going to feel unsafe. Now you have him turning to the camera and saying, well, fuck, I skipped a meeting. Also putting this into context with the rumored comment, because I don't have an actual confirmation of it, that on day 2 or whatever it was on the set or something, there was a hug made, and then there was a comment made by Jamie Heath after the hug or during the hug or whatever. Oh wait, sorry, I guess we didn't.
Can't do that anymore because there's already been
Maybe we shouldn't be doing this because there's already been there's already
HR
been
complaint.
an HR complaint. Something in that color was said. So if you have these two heads of the company, the chairman and the CEO. And on their set, the set that they're in control of, supposedly, if this is the vibe that they're putting out there, this is why I've always referred to this being a case of them losing control and not Blake Lively taking control of anything.
Yeah.
If you walk in, listen, man, if we're all on a bus and the driver is losing control of the bus, somebody's going to try to take control of the bus.
That's right.
Somebody's going to try to make sure this bus doesn't crash
Hopefully.
with all of us fucking on it.
I also, another thing that this clarified for me is that Justin Baldoni is absolutely full of shit in his complaint when he says that this whole disagreement was about her refusing to take his direction, because that's absolutely not what's happening in this scene.
That didn't happen.
He is not acting as if he is struggling with somebody who's refusing to take direction, and she is not reciprocating as if that's the situation either.
You see Jenny Slate laughing. They're laughing together.
So framing
it,
her-
it goes both ways. He's trying to express this idea that they can't be happy together if he's SH'd her, and he's trying to then turn her into someone so entirely difficult that all he can do is laugh with her.
No, it seems to me like everybody is acting like a professional here.
Yeah.
They have to get along because they're stuck here.
And they're also, by the way, I'll tell you
But
this.
listen, don't by the way yet, because I wanted to finish my point. So a scientist said, as if directors labeling an actress he SH difficult isn't the oldest story in the book. That he fucking reframed this whole thing as if he actually was really struggling to get Blake Lively to take direction and not be a pain in the ass is really that's a huge indictment.
Yeah, it is. You're right.
Because why would you frame it that way instead of it was an honest misunderstanding?
Correct.
Like he's trying to fucking Darvo this lady, I
think that's a perfect observation.
Okay, that's the last thing I wanted to say. Like, that really gets under my skin because that's absolutely not what's happening. And why did you choose to frame it that way instead of being like, she's overreacting and I didn't do anything wrong? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I don't remember what I was going to say. That's why I desperately cut in, because I know it's a fleeting thought that if I don't grab a hold of it when I have it, it goes away. It was a good one, though.
You got to ADD.
Yeah, exactly.
Hanada said, ex-patriarch used...
Dude, let me say...
pulled focus on... Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Because Jeremy Wright got me excited, because I've been saying... I said this to you when the first fucking rumor came out. When the first rumor came out that there was that stupid rumor, it didn't last long, about Blake Lively supposedly falling in love with Justin, but Justin rejected her, so this is a result of that. Jeremy Wright saying Justin wanted a slice, he was called out on it. And I really do think...
I don't see that that's what's happening either.
Well, not in this scene.
Not in this scene, maybe elsewhere, but I just want to stick to this.
Dude, the horny growl is what made it for me, for sure.
Oh, yeah,
like, that horny growl was internal.
Yeah.
It was not acting.
Right in her face.
It was horny desire. Mm-hmm. He got turned on by her. And by the way, and the other thing is putting...
But by the way.
And it's a bad habit. Putting his friend between her legs. And then all of a sudden...
you're getting on all this other stuff. Can we
No, but all of that to me is this objectification of Blake Lively to me.
Yeah, where she's like, okay, cool, so my comfort doesn't fucking matter.
Exactly. If she's not an object to you, then the first thing you're going to be worried about is her comfort. And we have some pictures to show you from the movie so we could talk about this, so-called
do
shorts
that
and all
tonight,
stuff. I understand that.
I'm
but
trying to keep the clock rolling because I want to get through some of these comments before we move on. Everybody's so engaged in this; it's so wonderful. So Hinata was talking about ex-patriarch pulled focus on the woman who's standing next to Baldoni, the one who's holding the wool, the plaid coat and then the bag, the short Asian woman.
Yeah. I saw her reaction.
Yeah. Ex-patriarch pulled focus on the woman next to the Baldoni and a man with a cup. Both reacted startled and made faces once he made the comments. Do you have time code there?
I don't know what you're looking for.
Because 1:30 is right after. Okay, so there's the toothpick thing. So she calls for the toothpick. Do you want to put this back up?
No, it's
that
cool.
was her reaction right there. Are you finding it?
I'm putting it on so that people aren't just sitting there watching me. They can see what I'm doing. It's kind of fun to see it anyway. I don't know if this was it. I think it was a wider shot when he says that.
No, it's
Is
here.
this it?
Yeah.
Let me see, pull focus. I'm not sure what you mean. Is that the meeting comment right there?
No.
No, of course not.
This is when this is great. This is a good time to start. Do you want to play the audio again? And we'll just try to watch this lady while we try to read his lips.
Let me get my headphones, ladies and gentlemen.
Somebody said that was the costumer. Her name is Vivian, but you see the AD calling backstage for someone named Vivian, so I don't know if it's a different Vivian or whether we're just misidentifying this person.
We don't know, do we? Okay.
Wall comes in.
Wow, that's loud.
Yeah, let me see if I can deal with that. If I was smacking you guys with that, I apologize.
It's just really difficult to hear him over her shouting.
I understand. Let me see what I can do. Oh yeah, I know what I can do. Let me go to this channel.
You're gonna blow out everybody's speakers.
Yeah, right. Okay, this should
Give them
help.
ear damage.
Right, so please make sure that nobody's standing right here, please. Okay.
Better.
All right, we should go. Ready?
I think it's gonna be pretty hot. Okay.
Yeah.
This is great. This is
So
the
then
whole
we
sequence.
see her.
Yeah. Sexy. Look
Okay,
at her
so there we
face.
go. Let's go frame by frame.
She's stunned.
Now, who's the other guy?
Oh, I don't know, but I'm watching her, and then she makes eye contact with Blake Lively.
Yeah, right there.
She's so serious. And then she widens her eyes. And
Oh, and then the tongue
tongue in her
cheek.
shifts her feet. Oh yeah, she didn't like that.
Are we talking about this Asian guy here? Who turns around?
Oh, let's see. And a man with a cap.
Man with a cap.
Oh, is it that guy in the corner? Oh, so many caps. No, that's turned backwards.
I don't see a guy in a cap.
Yeah, me neither.
Toothpick, please. Can I have
Okay, well,
a toothpick?
the comment is before. The toothpick is a good marker, Because
Yeah.
he says the sexual harassment part after the toothpick. He says sexy before the toothpick.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I her face is interesting. I mean, do I think it's? Her face is definitely interesting. She's definitely not.
I think that's a very clear reaction. She did not approve of what he just said. Smiling.
That's it. That was the moment. Oh, that's the look though, right there. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be interesting if she's the one who's also the tongue in cheek. Like that's significant to me.
You could see her posture too. She was really open, and then she closed up when she shifted her feet too. You could see she kind of tucked her chin. Anyway, I'm not a body language specialist or anything, but that seems pretty clear that whatever he said just changed her mood.
I wish I could see the guy in the cap that supposedly reacted because I don't see it. Crazy.
Okay. Erica said, "This woman, Blake Lively, has been in the business for more than 2 decades. Can't take direction. Okay, sure."
Well, you'd be surprised, actually. You'd be surprised.
You want to put it back up?
I did. You'd be surprised, actually. You know, in all likelihood, she's a consummate professional, but, you know, it doesn't mean after 2 decades, people can become nothing but they can corrode and erode rather quickly. In any industry, certainly in Hollywood, man, especially divas, you know, diva men, diva women, all the same. So I don't know. I mean, she's been there 2 decades. I doubt she'd have. Here's what your point really does resonate with me in this way. Justin Baldoni has never been on a set with this much at stake, and this you know, look, I guess I'm making an assumption. I'm making a certain assumption that he has never been on a set, you know, that had a major studio involved. It's just and a major A-list actor. You know, I haven't seen anything in his resume. That, you know, Rainn Wilson, I don't know if he's worked with him, but that guy's not an A-list actor.
Yeah.
It changes the game. You know, you're now a part of a corporation and a corporate process. Like indie sets are much looser, and I think he comes from that vibe and that feeling. And you know, when they talked about having a Baha'i set, you know, that already defies, or at least stands to defy, you know, regulations. You know, somebody pointed out, I think it was All Scientist. I thought about it even earlier today, but after All Scientist brought it up, I think it was All Scientist who said that, you know, when you call it a Baha'i faith, you're putting, you know, people who are not a part of your faith on the outside. You know, you're making us outsiders.
Justin Baldoni wrote in his own memoir about this.
Yeah.
This is his perspective of his faith. Okay.
Yeah.
So I am just introducing this because this is a sort of set that he's trying to conduct when he's making.
When he calls it a Baha'i set.
When he's making sarcastic comments about sexual harassment training. This is apparently what he has in mind. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to make fun of his religion or anything. I
understand.
Seems a little contradictory. Okay.
Good.
As a Baha'i, I am asked in my daily life to be a defender of the victims of oppression in whatever form that takes, and to never exert my beliefs on another individual, as God's love and mercy are far exalted beyond my limited brain.
They call it a Baha'i set. Like in stark contrast to that statement.
Let me just he skips here. This is in his introduction in his book. Okay, so even if I don't subscribe to a belief or ideology or lifestyle myself, it's my duty as a human to love and to rush to defend anyone who is being unjustly treated or oppressed. I believe that more than anything right now, we must find a way to stop the otherizing of our friends, family, and neighbors due to ideological and lifestyle differences. Find common human ground of empathy, respect, and love. It's from this place that I believe, as it relates to this book and masculinity, that we have to separate the masculinity conundrum from political agendas, do the nuanced self-work and necessary healing to successfully create space for the conversations to be had. The victims of masculinity, when it becomes unhealthy, as it has for so many of us men, are not just our friends, wives, girlfriends, and partners, but also ourselves. It's me, it's you, it's the men we interact with daily who are suffering. Anyway, this is just I just don't know how it's a Baha'i set and he can be so frivolous about these concepts. He wrote about it very connected in his Man Enough book. And so I feel like
yeah, I mean,
it just doesn't seem like he could be so frivolous about somebody who's complaining about having been abused or made to feel otherized, according to him.
Yeah,
right, like you would if you're experiencing sex-based discrimination or any sort of sexual harassment claims. It just seems really kind of contradictory to me. I don't know.
I mean, the whole fucking thing. You know, he's you know, if you take that stuff out, and I've said it, you know, time and time again on this live, and I will until all the way through trial. Blake Lively, when she showed up to do this movie and to work with these people, she showed up to be a part of something that she believed was going to elevate her beyond anyone else's attempt before. Like, she's never had an opportunity like she's had now, or as she had with Justin Baldoni, in my opinion. And we know this because she talked about it in the Forbes interview. In the Forbes interview, she talked about how much of a struggle it was to try and get above the line as anything other than an actor. And so,
Yeah.
In this situation, I think she saw that opportunity, which is why we know that she asked for a producer credit out of the gate. She wanted to be a producer. She made that known from the beginning. Like anybody else in any other company with any ambition whatsoever, when she wasn't giving that producer credit, she said, I'm going to add value. I'm going to do more. I'm going to be more. I'm going to prove that I can be more than just an executive producer with a vanity credit or a credit that could be interpreted as a vanity credit. And by the way, a lot of people run around with a vanity credit. People show up in our comments and they try to pretend I don't know what a vanity credit is. Vanity credits are you can't distinguish a vanity credit as just an individual. You don't know.
No, of course not.
You have no idea what that executive producer did.
There's a lot that goes into making a film.
And you just don't know what...
There's no way that you could just arbitrarily know that from the outside.
You also just don't know what an individual did for that credit. You just don't. There are actors with executive producer credits who carried out producer quality contributions to their films.
Do you want to get back to the chat?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a lot of really great comments here. I'm sorry if I derailed it a little bit. Shannon O said, I believe the point of the video from Baldoni is that this incident doesn't make him a sexual predator.
Who said this?
I don't know that
Erica said this?
No, Shannon O's said, I believe the point of the video from Baldoni is that this incident doesn't make him a sexual predator. It is a credible incident of sexual harassment. When somebody belittles your feelings of discomfort and then like sarcastically remarks, I guess I missed the sexual harassment training or whatever he says in that. However, we can see how he's saying it and then he rolls his eyes.
Yeah.
That definitely qualifies. To me,
yeah,
that definitely qualifies. He's not a sexual predator here, but he's a guy who's making it a hostile work environment.
That's what I'm saying about making everything so goddamn big. It's sexual harassment. It doesn't have to be a big thing.
No, it's not sexual assault.
It goes to her feelings of safety, her feelings of comfort, her feelings of inclusiveness, and So also, and look, this is true for women. I don't give a fuck if it's not your experience, not talking to you specifically, by the way, but just anyone's experience, some women will be triggered by this because they've perhaps been exposed to things that are far worse.
Dude,
and it starts out innocuous. It starts out rather. I don't
have to have a ton of experience and speak for everybody to, see very clearly that if I'm saying, hey, bro, don't talk to me that way. And then the guy makes a sarcastic remark about like, oh, I guess I fucking missed the train, like belittles my concerns. I'm going to feel like that's a hostile work environment. I feel like that's somebody that I can't talk to openly about how to make me more comfortable in a position in which it's such a weird thing for him to do as a director, to make everybody on edge right before you're supposed to be shooting this celebratory communal scene, And I watched this in the movie. I don't know if you guys want to watch the movie again, but if you do again, you can see kind of Ryle's character in the beginning of this scene is like on edge. You can see it in his face. I think he got tilted and it showed. It's just a little weird. I'm like, okay, there's a little bit of tension in the scene. And I kept expecting something in the scene to happen to explain the tension between these guys, but there's nothing. So now maybe that's what I'm reading here, Yeah,
Jeremy says it. He says, if my leading lady feels uncomfortable, then that's on me. You're in charge of the set. That's what I'm saying about losing control. I mean, Blake Lively didn't take control of anything. If anything happened with regards control of this movie, it's that they lost control.
Oh my God. And
Blake Lively and Todd Black and others picked it up.
She's only reacting to what he's saying. She didn't fucking start anything in this scene. We can see that clearly. Like he's talking to her and then somebody gets offended and then he makes a fucking sarcastic remark. Like
instead of being,
you can't blame somebody else for that.
And he's the boss. He's the fucking boss. It's bad enough if he's not.
Yes, that's true.
But when he's the boss
and he has responsibilities,
it's a fucking much bigger deal.
He has responsibilities and he has a fucking anti-harassment policy he has to follow.
And you know that you have a totally limited scope of or ability to complain. You're sitting there like, okay, well, how do I resolve this?
Right. I gotta complain to the guy who's harassing me. Deacon is with us in the chat.
What's happening, Deacon?
If she would have said anything in the middle of filming, then she would have been seen as difficult.
Well, that's a great point.
It's true. Like, what is she gonna do? Fucking call a break with all of these people assembled? Look at this whole room full of extras and everybody's buzzing around, and she has to fucking ride it out, dude. She can't just be like, "You're upsetting me. I need a fucking moment," or "Let me pull you aside so I can talk to you." You know, like she's kind of fucking held captive here. That's a really
By the way,
good point.
the Asian woman that's with them
Yes.
is likely the second AD.
Oh, you think so? Holding the bag?
She's likely a second AD in there to make sure the actors have all the things that they need.
I'm curious about who this
position.
is because he seems like he has a really professional crew. Like she's acting like a professional, not saying
Dude,
anything
it's
and
a
just making
fucking
eyes.
pro crew for sure.
This lady who's like always barking these like orders to everybody. I'm assuming that's the first AD because I've heard her in audio of other BTS where Baldoni's in the scene.
Yeah.
She's really excellent. I mean, she's like loud, but I guess that's what you want in a first AD. Someone NMH comments.
What's up, someone?
That-
NMH? Or
Justin
what?
Baldoni says hot about the 17-second mark and then immediately looks at her chest.
Yes, he did.
I don't see that as anything offensive because he's looking at her wardrobe. He could be looking at, if I'm looking at Dale's chest right now,
even
I'm
if he's
looking at
using
his shirt.
even if he's using his position as director to ogle at her and she felt ogled,
If she felt ogled,
he still has a defense.
That's valid, but I don't think that I saw anything that made me think that he was ogling her.
Well, she can feel ogled and he
Yes.
can still have a defense.
That's right.
And I think that's what we have here.
I agree. Happiness in Your Life is with us. Said, it's weird. What was he reacting to? I think he was more oblivious than deliberate, but then he immediately apologizes without understanding for what. So he does the what again. This is interesting. So all throughout his complaint, he talks about how she's overreacting and she's overanalyzing stuff and she's blowing things out of proportion because he keeps apologizing. Well, look at what the apologies from him look like. They're really dismissive.
Yes.
He says, I'm sorry, like in a tone and rolls his eyes. You know what I mean? So if this is what he's saying qualifies for an apology that you should just accept and move on and not bother him about anymore. Like, I wonder whether that's the apologizing that they keep talking about. Because when he admits that she was truthful when she made sexual harassment complaints on the set, within the first month,
Yeah.
there's a bunch of that in his timeline document. He's very clear. He's very explicit, descriptive about what she experienced. But he says that he apologized and she wouldn't take an apology for an answer. And she kept bringing it up. Well, maybe there are apologies like this, like, okay, I'm sorry.
Yes. Well, this is the biggest problem with being, the guy you complain about and the guy you complain to. And, she has no anonymity there. She has no one to talk to, She should have an HR department to be able to say these kinds of things to, even if it falls on deaf ears because they work for the man, which they do.
Hinata said that Baldoni had the chance to review this hundreds of times before his first filing, and he used the words hot and sexy and claim it's about the bar, and then later goes talking about, and later we could see he's talking about the SH training. So he definitely omitted that.
I think what I heard in this video was that he was very clearly talking about it being hot. That is my view of this. I am, as anyone knows who's hung out with us long enough, I believe Blake Lively's side of events in this story, and I still do. Nothing has changed.
I did notice that when I was
I
watching...
don't believe he was talking about her being hot, even if that's what he was thinking.
I did notice when I was watching the scene in the movie that a bunch of the extras in the back look sweaty.
I
they don't have
can
makeup on them all
promise
the
you sets are hot. And if you're in a
Sets are
fucking
hot,
big cotton onesie
Yeah.
with a coat on top. So anyway, I just think that he was talking about that. Both can be true, by the way. He can be saying it's going to be hot and be ogling at your chest and saying that at the same time and making her feel, therein lies what he was using as, perhaps to some degree a scapegoat. I guess you could splice this thing up the way you want to, but using just discerning eyes and using common sense, which I think we need to apply in these situations. I see a guy saying, hey, it's going to get hot. And then, maybe at that point, well, she apparently, if you believe her side of the story, says, that's not what I'm going for.
Yeah. So for a long time, even before seeing this footage, I have been comparing, because we have these dueling banjos of Lively's complaint and Baldoni's complaint, and they're talking about the same events. So I
Yeah.
noticed that his complaint did not address her allegation that he says, "I guess I missed the HR meeting," which is misremembered by her, but in sum and substance, it's still this sarcastic remark, right? So I think that counts as, if she didn't recall exactly what he said, she definitely remembered the tone and the effect of it. And I think that that's what we're seeing here. But I remember that he never addressed that. So I was like, oh, that's so interesting that he didn't refute the thing that would make him not apologetic and instead sarcastic in reaction to her complaint. He didn't even mention it. So I don't believe that this exonerates him. I feel like this is really damning because
It doesn't
why isn't he
exonerate
talking
anything.
about why she made the allegation to everybody? He's not responding to it, and here he is proving that she did have a memory of what he was saying and how he's behaving. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. I listen, I agree completely.
Kindly
with what you're saying.
DiCaprio is saying, have one of your actors ever not done something you wanted for a scene? How did you deal with it? And Cosmic Urgency answers for you, said Dale harassed Scott Bloom for not wanting to do full frontal. And
Well,
that's, of course, not exactly how it
It's
went.
not exactly how it went. So he agreed to do full frontal, which actually wasn't true. We weren't actually going to shoot his penis at all.
No,
We were shooting him from behind.
he was just going to be nude.
I wrote the scene. I have it right here. I wrote the scene as, the shot. I wrote the scene as a shot because I pictured his ass as the whatever the right third, and then Jenny on the bed, and they're talking about it. They're talking, they're post-coital
In Don's Plum.
in Don's Plum. So then we go to shoot it, and he strips down and says, "Oh, everything's cool." Everybody's behind him. The only person in front of him is Jenny. That's
There's
it.
no camera on that side of the
There's
room.
no fucking cameras. There's no glass. There's nothing. Like, nobody can see anything except Jenny Lewis. So then he takes off his pants and then he cups his balls. And I'm sitting there going, so after we cut, I was like, Scott, I mean, you're standing naked in front of the person you just had sex with. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Why
what
are
are
you-
you
why
what
are
are
you
you
covering
hiding
up?
your body, dude? I mean, you literally just had sex with this girl, bro. Because it looked weird to me. Like, I hated it. I still hate it when I see the scene because it doesn't make any sense to me. No dude is going to
Well, from
stand there
behind it-
hiding. He'd just get into bed if he's got nervous about his junk.
It
Like he
kind of
does.
looks like he's just like holding it. Like maybe he's like,
The whole scene was about his a sexual
Manipulating
intimidation. Well, it was like a sexual intimidation. Like, so tell me what you really thought about the movie. Was the because he's standing there with his dick out saying,
No, I know.
"Let's talk about the movie."
it doesn't seem like he's covering himself from in the film from behind. You only think that because you know he was. Anyway, the point is,
I'll cue it up, bro. He's holding it.
Have one of your actors ever not done something you wanted for a scene? How did you deal with that? So
I lost the argument. I mean, I took him aside and I said, "Scott, this doesn't make any sense." And he said, "Dale, I'm just gonna do it this way." And I was like, "Well, I guess that's the way it's gonna be." But I'm just telling you right now that I think it looks really stupid on film. And he's like, "Well, this is how I'm gonna do it." And then I left it at that because it was too sensitive a topic.
Yeah, of course.
If it wasn't a sensitive topic and I really, really wanted it in the movie, I might be less flexible. What might be a good example? I don't really have one for Don's Plum, but if there was a shot that I absolutely had to get and it didn't involve something that, required a rider, I would press hard, I would pressure them.
Earlier when we didn't have the video up and we started listening to it, I can't remember who it was in the chat, but somebody was like, "Oh, good, I didn't want to see Baldoni's face anymore." was a
We watched
mistake.
a whole movie of it, and it did wear thin on me. They had somebody set dressing called Jean-Luc Swift.
Oh,
Yeah.
fancy.
Well, is he a Swift?
If you had a name like that, and every time you introduced yourself, would you say the full name? I would.
Hi, I'm Jean-Luc Swift. The Jean-Luc part works, and then it turns into Swift, and I'm just like, what? How?
Unless, well, you have to pronounce it right. Maybe it's Swift.
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 Jean-Luc
You have to
Swift.
you have to pronounce it French.
I just want to know if
Jean-Luc Swift.
if he's a Swift. Is he of the Swifters? Is he Jean-Luc Swift?
Oh, Hinata said that also Baldoni said in his filings that he apologized profusely, and in his own text messages, he said he never apologized because he never did it, and he was never going to apologize for something he didn't do. So which is it, bro?
Well, this is them.
I don't-
They say one thing and then it's another thing. And,
What do you think is going to be? Do you think that this motion for summary judgment is strong based on this kind of evidence?
No, I think their motion, I don't think it has any hope at all. Do you?
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it doesn't to me, but
You know who you are.
I am becoming aware of my biases because I recognize that very often in Justin Baldoni's statements there are falsehoods and misrepresentations of the evidence and all kinds of other problems.
For the summary
and
judgment.
I just can't imagine a judge isn't going to see that too, since I'm nobody, nothing, and their whole job is to do that.
For the summary of judgment to be awarded, they would have to prove beyond any doubt that Blake Lively, A, didn't complain about or experience sexual harassment, and B, at least these two things. I know there are different counts here, but at least these two things, and that he didn't retaliate. And I don't think that their evidence proves any of that. Now, I haven't gone through the whole entire summary of judgment. I haven't gone through all the evidence yet. I don't know that I even will. So what is my opinion? But, a fucking guy on YouTube talking shit. But do I think that this guy is going to get his case after having his $400 million lawsuit kicked out of the court? I feel fairly confident that Judge Lyman is definitely not going to grant this summary, this motion for summary judgment.
Yeah.
I don't think there's. I think there's a 0% chance. I think before they filed it, he knew he was going to rule against it.
Yeah.
Unless they bring something spectacular.
Let me share this with you from the chat.
Please.
Phil Bumbling is asking Jeremy, I'm curious, among your acting peers, how is this Baldoni Lively tiff viewed? Jeremy Wright replies, actors need to make one another feel safe. Justin did not do that. If my leading lady feels uncomfortable, that is on me.
Yeah, it's a great response, Jeremy. Thank you for contributing. It's a great response, and it's true. I think it's a great response.
Troller Troll said, calling out the toothpick in front of everyone, then saying that comment, he was trying to upset her. That part, again, to me didn't seem too odd because he's wearing a onesie. I don't know if this thing has pockets, but he's not going to have a toothpick on him. He's going to call somebody, like the makeup artist would have a toothpick. Like he would call somebody over who has a toothpick to help get something out of. I guess he's talking to Blake Lively because he's looking across the table.
It's kind of a part of last looks, So in a film before you or any project before you go live on any project before you start recording, you do last looks.
Yeah,
so he's as a director, he's going to be looking for these details.
This didn't seem like it was out of place to me.
No, and
that's not a controversial.
No, that wouldn't even make her feel bad. And there's no. If it was anything at all, it was that he was trying to get out of the problem he caused. He created all this discomfort. And he was like, you know what? You got something between your teeth.
Yeah.
And now we're not talking about whether or not she's sexy,
right,
whether or not he has done anything inappropriate. So if anything, he was using it as a means to, deflect from the issue he created.
What's he going to do? Like not want to not want to upset her or something and not call for a toothpick. And then he's got this whole scene where she's got like a piece of spinach in her teeth or something.
Yeah.
That wouldn't work. Oh, okay. KK said, yes, that's first AD Julie Bloom.
Oh, it is.
And the Asian lady in the video is Zinnia Kim.
Oh, Zinnia Kim.
Okay, so not Zinnia, Vivian.
Yeah, now I know who you're talking about.
You can see how I confused
the one you're talking about. Yes.
I said they called for Vivian, and I thought that maybe her name was Vivian, but I got that wrong. Zinnia Kim, and she's a set costumer.
Oh, she's a set costumer. Well, that makes sense. She's got something over her arm there.
Okay, that's very informative. Thank you so much, KK.
Yeah, cool.
You guys are so helpful all the time. I love it.
God, we would just have our second do that because we can't afford another fucking person for that. Shit.
Okay, I think we can move on.
Yeah, it's almost the end of the night already.
Yeah.
So we're probably gonna save the Baldoni depositions for tomorrow.
I don't know. Let me see. I mean, I think I can at least cover some of it.
Well, I'd rather just get it all on one so that if I repurpose it.
You don't think it was like a tease that we advertised that we were going to do it and then
I do, but you know what? It is what it is, guys. We got deep. That's what it means to go live. We'll do the Justin Baldoni tomorrow. I got a couple of little quick things to have fun with before we go. Just a couple little ones, anyways. You guys want to hear it?
Let's have some fun.
Well, there was some really great news from the Supreme Court. They turned down the pre-game prayer case And the pregame prayer case was a high school had filed a lawsuit saying that there was an infringement on their First Amendment rights because they wanted to pray over the speakerphone or the loudspeaker at a game, and they were denied the opportunity to do so. And so they went all the way up to the district court, and the district court said, "No, you're wrong. You didn't have any fucking right to that. It doesn't." And they said that.
I'm sorry. I think you confused.
Let me clarify.
Okay.
So the U.S. District Court said that their ruling was that it was government speech because it was over a loudspeaker.
So you can't have a prayer,
and it was at a school.
So you can't do a prayer over the loudspeaker. Is what the ruling said.
Because it fell under government speech, so it's not protected by the First Amendment.
Because it was a public school.
Yes, because it was a public school, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So and then they tried to file with the Supreme Court saying that this was an overreach of government speech, and if this held up, that it would infringe on First Amendment rights throughout all of society, right? It was like, this is it, you're undoing the Constitution.
Yeah.
Because you're not letting us pray over a loudspeaker. And this incredibly conservative, and this is where I get optimistic about it, because it's an incredibly conservative Supreme Court. We know that there are like potentially religious zealots on this court. When you're looking at guys like Roberts and so on. So that they refused to look at the appeal and they kicked it out is a big win, in my opinion. And it feels good. I feel like I said this about like a lot of people, a lot of astrologers were talking about, this Pluto in Aquarius. And the first thing that I saw when I saw Pluto in Aquarius was I saw like the adaptation or the adoption rather of bigger ideas, of changing ideas. I saw a change from old to new coming in the way in which we're thinking about things.
Yeah, that's going to be Uranus and Gemini too, is going to be a great big transformation of our way of thinking is expected over the next like 7 years.
Yeah, and there's two air signs going at it, right? So they're trining in energy as well. So there's a reception between those two. So to me, I saw this as we're already in a difficult time. Everyone was like, oh, it's going to get much worse. And I was like, well, maybe we've actually been through the worst of it. Maybe that death has already occurred. And or we're at the end of that death. And maybe the new, and that doesn't mean there isn't going to be, the last, ditch effort and, whatever. Doesn't mean there won't be more, terror ahead. But I do feel like there's a fundamental shift going on.
A little glimmer of hope?
Yeah, I do. I feel like a glimmer of hope with that. And I was pretty excited to share it with you guys because I thought it was pretty fucking good news.
Yeah, well, I don't know how much I think it's a pretty high bar for the Supreme Court to take up an appeal, Like, I don't know. I think most of the time they're like, the lower court got it right and we're good,
Well, look.
And I'm glad that worked out that way.
The Supreme Court is there for a reason. People get to bring their cases to the Supreme Court. Yes, the Supreme Court doesn't overturn verdicts or opinions, lightly. They shouldn't, but that doesn't mean they won't. And so any opportunity to look, it's like the Kim Davis thing. They shot down the Kim Davis thing. Now she's on the hook for hundreds of thousands of dollars for her bigotry, and now we have, the First Amendment, the protections around the First Amendment and the way in which the government has to speak with us, or our rights around what the government exposes us to. We're held up in the courtroom, and I think that's something that we should all celebrate.
I'm gonna get back to our previous topic just because Shannon just made this really great comment.
Okay.
Someone posted a link to Blake Lively's IMDb page, and in her photo on her IMDb page, you can zoom in.
Yeah.
And you can see that she has something in her teeth, like she has like a little red spice or something.
Yeah,
in
I saw
her
that.
teeth.
I saw that.
So Shannon said I would definitely prefer someone telling me that I have something in my teeth and calling for a toothpick in a room full of people than to have it show up on the film.
Yeah.
And I totally agree. But, I also saw this picture and I zoomed in, and my first impression, because I was looking for this tiny little shred, I cannot believe somebody found this because it's so tiny. But my first impression was like, oh my God, her skin is perfect. She looks gorgeous. Even when you zoom in, like you could never zoom in on a picture with me and not be like, ugh,
Totally.
It's just really funny that these people hate her so much that they're trying to make a big deal out of like some small imperfection on an otherwise perfect picture.
Let's do our review of the movie. We got to do that.
No, my butt is sore.
No.
I need to get out of this chair.
Let's do that. This is 5 minutes. We'll do that and then we'll leave.
No.
Please.
Okay, you can do the review of the movie, but I'm leaving. Let's do it tomorrow. I said earlier we'll do it tomorrow. I think that it's okay to do it tomorrow. Why? Why are you so eager to take care of it tonight? Who cares?
The Epstein victims released a very powerful PSA that's going around. I don't know if you've seen it yet.
Oh, yeah, it's super emotional.
It's where they're standing there
They're
with
crying and everything.
pictures
It's
of
horrible.
themselves when they met Jeffrey Epstein, when they were exposed to Jeffrey Epstein. But what was so powerful about it, besides that obviously very stark image and the fact that these women deserve their justice and that they were able to get people like Marjorie Taylor Greene on their side to fight for them, I think is really, it just shows, you know, how important this really is.
And it's not going to go away.
And that it's not going to go away.
Yeah.
But what was wild about it is that in that PSA, if you didn't catch it, they said that there was close to 1,000 victims of his. 1,000. And it makes sense when you read Giuffre's account, because in Giuffre's book, Nobody's Girl, you really get the sense that she is just absolutely, totally disposable to him. Like when she actually does end up telling him, hey, I'm not coming back. I'm not going to be a part. He's like, okay, bye.
Yeah, she's part of an international machine, you know? Like, it's crazy how widespread this whole web goes.
Hearing 1,000 victims was, it just shook me right to my core.
Jerry writes at Dale, her butt is sore.
It's true.
You don't have to take care of me. I'm fine.
It's like, take care of your lady. I said I'd buy
I'm
you a
okay. Like
cushion.
I'm never struggling here. I just don't want to start a whole thing. You know, I want to make time and have like you know, have a fresh mind when I give the review, because I think it's important. We've only been talking about this movie. It ends with us for like a fucking year and a half now. You know, but let's do it when we're fresh.
We'll review the movie tomorrow.
See what I mean?
Yeah, we'll do it. Look, I mean, I was anxious to do it because, you know, yeah, I'm anxious to do it, you know, and it's fresher in my mind. So yeah, we'll just wait till tomorrow. We'll just let my thoughts decay. It's all good. You guys are so fun. I hope you guys had fun tonight with us. We'll be back again tomorrow.
I learned a lot. Going over this video with you guys made me see it better than I had earlier when I went over it.
Yeah, I loved being able to load it up into, you know, into DaVinci Resolve and being able to look at those frames and really capture the look. I wish I could see the guy in the hat.
We'll look for it. Maybe we'll bring it back tomorrow.
I'm going to look for it probably later tonight just because, yeah, I want to know about it.
It's going to be like a Where's Waldo? Where's the guy in the hat?
Feldbaum's like, now I don't want to hear the reviews.
Stay strong, Angela.
Sit strong. Says, sit strong, Angela. Well, you know, she sits in these like old theater chairs, these antique theater chairs that she has, but she loves them, but they're not comfortable. I can't believe people sat there for
They're
any amount
fucking
of time.
cool looking. Shut up.
You sit there for 2 hours though, so it's a big deal.
All right.
You guys are the absolute best. We're gonna cure her problem and get her to a nice comfy couch where everything is cushy clean. You guys are lovely. I hope you guys had fun. We did.
Yep.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.